friends, Anthony and Oreo have a special announcement for you today.
We're not reading a bedtime story.
We sure aren't. Nope.
We have special guests to read today. My mom and dad.
Yay!
Brought to you through the power of Seesaw.
All right, let's meet them.
Go.
Hi, I'm Anthony's dad.
And I'm Anthony's mom.
And we're going to read the story to you today. We have a very special book. It's called Vinnie, the Best Dog. And it was written by Anthony. He is the author. And it was published by his school when he was in the 4th grade. So it's a book done by Anthony. And it's about his dog.
The first time I saw Vinnie, I knew he was the dog for me. We did not have any supplies, so we went to PetSmart to get a squeaky ball, a squeaky hot dog, a chew bone, a spike bone, a rope, a kennel, and a bag of food. When we took Vinnie home, we took him to the doctor, and the doctor said Vinnie was given to us too early, but he gave us a few cans of soft dog food. We took Vinnie back to the doctor. This time, he needed a stool sample. When he took the sample in, he said it was all right. Vinnie's first 4th of July was one I could never forget. He liked the fireworks when they burst. When everyone came over, he got very excited and went crazy. When Stephen came, we played with Vinnie. When we went on the boat, Vinnie came on and visited everyone who came. We had to cover his ears when a firework blew up. On the way home, people were setting off fireworks, so Vinnie was running across the boat. When we got home, we put Vinnie in the house, then lit off our own fireworks. So we let Vinnie out to see the bonfire go down. I think Vinnie had a fun time. In the summer, Vinnie likes to go to the beach and jump in the shallow water. When my friends came over, Vinnie would greet them with a big kiss. Vinnie never tried to swim yet. Every time I went swimming, I took Vinnie with, but still never went swimming. We found out that Vinnie has 3 favorite games. One is roll the ball, where you have 2 to 4 people on the ground and they roll back and forth. Another favorite game is when one person sits on the floor and throws the ball across the room, then Vinnie runs after it and brings it back to the person. The last game is to roll the ball and hold Vinnie and tell him to stay, and then tell him, go get it. Vinnie will dash across the room after the ball and bring it back to the person.
Vinnie looks pretty happy on the beach in that picture. Ooh.
Later in the summer, our family took Vinnie to the dunes. First, we took him to the picnic area to eat dinner. Then we took him to the beach. We let him jump in the shallow water of Lake Michigan. Next, we saw the dunes, so he wanted to run up and down. A few times every summer, we go to the drive-in movie. But the first time we took Vinnie was the most memorable. When we asked Vinnie if he would like to go for a ride, he flew out of my room and ran to the front door and sat so we could put his leash on. On the ride there, Vinnie sat quietly so he would not get in trouble. He waited and waited until we stopped and we ended up at the gas station. Then Vinnie popped up to see where we were. I think he knew we weren't there yet, so he just sat down again. When we finally got there, we parked and took Vinnie for a walk. When the first movie started, Vinnie got excited because he heard the radio. Every 10 to 15 minutes, he would jump back and forth until he just stayed in the back. By the second movie, Vinnie was sound asleep. When the second movie was over, he woke up and started barking at the other cars.
All right, boys and girls, we'll be back for part 2. Go.
This is part 2 of Vinnie, the Best Dog.
Later in the summer, our family took Vinnie to the dunes. First, we took him to the picnic area to eat dinner. Then we took him to the beach. We let him jump in the shallow water of Lake Michigan. Next, he saw the dunes, so he wanted to run up and down them. A few times every summer, we go to the drive-in movies. But the first time we took Vinnie was the most memorable. When we asked Vinnie if he would like to go for a car ride, he flew out of my room and ran to the front door and sat so we could put on his leash. On the ride there, Vinnie sat quietly so he would not get in trouble. He waited and waited until we stopped, and we ended up at a gas station. Then Vinnie popped up to see where we were. I think he knew we weren't there yet, so he just sat down again. When we finally got there, we parked and took Vinnie for a walk. When the first movie started, Vinnie got excited because he heard the radio. Every 10 to 15 minutes, he would jump back and forth until he just stayed in the back. By the second movie, Vinnie was sound asleep. When the second movie was over, he woke up and started barking at the other cars. On my birthday, October 20th, 1997, we went on a hayride to look for pumpkins with some friends of mine and, of course, Vinnie. When we got there, we made a bonfire and waited for the guests to arrive. When the first 6 people came, we started to play football. While we played, Vinnie got a lot of action in the party. On the hayride, Vinnie was quiet. When we stopped, he was the first one off the trailer. Vinnie waited until everyone got their pumpkin in. Just a few minutes later, Vinnie saw his pumpkin. He was so glad that he got his own special pumpkin. When we got back, we had some food, including Vinnie. He had Pro-Plan puppy food and water. We had hot dogs, chips, and pop. This was an especially fun birthday because Vinnie was included. After my birthday, Vinnie's first holiday was Halloween. My friend Stephen and I went trick-or-treating together, and Vinnie came along too. The first half mile, I had a glow-in-the-dark ring. Vinnie liked it and wanted it, so we gave it to him. My dad came, and he wrapped the ring around Vinnie so he had a glow-in-the-dark collar. Then we all went safely trick-or-treating. Every Thanksgiving, we have a party at my grandma and grandpa's house. There, we saw my cousins, grandma, grandpa, aunt, and uncles. My grandma likes to take walks on a pathway near her house. A few times Vinnie came, and sometimes he didn't. Vinnie would stay under the table while we ate to eat all the yummy scraps that fell. Later in the day, we go to my aunt and uncle's house. We ate there, too. Usually we don't eat there, but the turkey took too long to cook. Then we went downstairs to get a drink at the bar. On Christmas Eve, we have a big party at our house. We have a feast with potato soup, salmon patties, veggies, pierogies, and much, much more. My mom and grandma set up the party. Vinnie walked around messing up the house. He liked opening up presents. He would walk through the wrapping paper. Finally, Vinnie got his first Christmas card made of rawhide from his canine cousins. When everyone left, Vinnie went to sleep, and so did we. On Christmas Day, Vinnie got some presents from Santa Claus. Vinnie went to Grandma's house so he wouldn't be left all alone that day. We went to my Uncle Joe and Aunt Yvonne's house. Now, Vinnie can sleep with us. He is such a good boy. He doesn't have any accidents in the house. Vinnie is the best dog. Everyone who meets him loves him and thinks he's the cutest puppy. Vinnie weighs 8 to 9 pounds. His hair has turned from brown and black to light brown and light gray. Vinnie will be 1 year old in May. Vinnie is the best dog in the world, and I know we will have many more great adventures together. And here's a little something about the author.
Right after this short break. Oh my children, we have an unprecedented part 3.
What?
Mom, Dad?
Well, I'd like to read about the author. I'm going to tell you a little story about the author. Anthony Arendas is a 10-year-old 4th grader at Border Lakes Elementary School in Hebron, Indiana. He has a sister in 7th grade whose name is Angela, a mom who stays home and watches Vinnie She's lucky. And a dad that works at a demolition company. He has 3 birds, Chili, Buddy, and Peppy. They're cockatiels. And he has a dog named Vinnie. Vinnie is a Yorkshire Terrier.
So a fun little fact about the story as well, all the illustrations you saw were done by my sister Angela. She's a very good artist. I know you guys have seen some of my art, but she's way better.
Yeah, she's really good.
She's 2 years older than me.
Do we have any other pictures of Anthony and Vinny you'd like to show us? Oh, there we go.
There's Vinny when he got a little older. Me too, I guess.
Yeah.
That's how time works.
Aww.
Yeah.
So
Anthony loved his dog.
I have a couple questions. Who was Vinny's favorite member of the family?
Vinnie really liked everyone. He would sit by anyone. He was a real cuddler, but he did like Anthony.
He liked everyone, though.
Yeah. He sounds like he was a snuggly dog.
Oh, very.
He was. He was a cuddler.
So I bet the second graders would love to know, was Anthony a good student growing up?
Well, let me talk about that.
Uh-oh.
Anthony was very well behaved. He did all of his homework. Every night he would open up his books and study his books. And he was a whiz at math. Before he even went to school, we were working on math problems with his oldest sister. And Anthony was able to do the problems without a pen or paper and give the answer while he was eating a bowl of cereal.
Well, and Anthony also loved to read. Do you remember what his favorite books were?
Oh, the Dr. Zeus.
No.
Which ones?
Well, he did like Dr. Zeus, but he liked Goosebumps.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah.
Goosebumps.
We'd catch him at night reading a book in bed, so that's a good thing.
Those were scary stories.
Spooky. What did Anthony like to do as a little boy or even as an older boy? Play with his dog.
He liked to play with the dog. He didn't always take the dog for a walk, but he did sometimes.
You couldn't help out with the dog, Anthony.
I definitely helped out. Probably not
was
as much
always
as they
busy.
would have liked.
He was busy doing his homework.
Yeah. Anthony, he played basketball, but he played soccer for a long time. He played soccer since he was probably 4 years old until he was 18 years old.
Yep.
Awesome.
Played soccer for a long time.
Oh,
Yeah.
so fun. Well, thanks. Go ahead.
And he liked video games. He always liked video games.
Still
right,
do.
Anthony?
He still does. Well, thanks for joining us and being our special guest reader.
Yeah,
Well,
thanks,
for
Mom and Dad.
asking us. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was real fun. I enjoyed reading this story to you guys.
I enjoyed writing it all those years ago.
Yeah.
That's right.
By Anthony.
Hi, Anthony. So maybe someday you guys can write a story and have it published.
Yeah.
Just like Anthony.
Yeah, just like Anthony. All right, guys. Good night.
Sleep
Okay, good night.
tight.
Bye-bye.
Good night.